Good day, my friends. It's Talisa at DIY Living by Talisa Lindsay. We are going today make a Dollar Tree DIY. The items that you're going to need for today's project is going to be scissors, something to be able to cut your wood with. I am using 5-gallon paint sticks that we have cut down to 14 inches. You will also need some Mod Podge, napkins if you want to, with your choice of designs, or the option that you can also do is paint or stain if you would prefer that. You will need some type of jute or string that you want to hang it from, and you will also need some ribbon if you want to embellish it, along with some type of sponge to spread if you're going to choose to do like the decoupaging that I'm going to do, or the Mod Podging, whichever the correct way is that you like to say it, along with scissors, obviously. Okay, so let's get started on this project. Okay, for this next step, what I'm going to do is apply a thin coat of the Mod Podge onto the stick itself. Less is more when it comes to this type of project that you're doing. Okay, just put a thin layer on. And then you're just going to quickly apply the napkin. If it does not fit, make sure that before you do that, if it's got layers, separate it as I'm going to be doing here, and then apply the napkin over the top of your project. And being that this has a pattern on it, it's going to be very forgiving because I can line up the pattern on top of each other at the very end. Okay, I'm just lightly laying it down. And then I have a small piece over on the side here, and looking where this pattern is, I'm just gonna lay that over the top, just applying a little bit more over the top of the edge of that napkin, just so that it will catch the lip of that. Again, I almost applied 2 layers of napkin on this one, so make sure it's separated. Lay it right next to that one, very gently and carefully. And then you can take what I do is a plastic bag. I really like using a plastic bag just to smooth out wrinkles. It's just my way of how I do it. I believe that this hack works really, really well. It just smooths it out nicely. And then what I will do is go around the edges of this and just cut. And if you like to, you can go ahead and Mod Podge the edge of this. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about once I'm done cutting it. It's easier to do it this way for me. You just take whatever route is easiest for you. All right, and then I'm just gonna cut the edge here. Put aside the excess. Grab your glue with the Mod Podge on it going around the edge here. You can also choose to use your sandpaper if you have it, and you can just go across that, and once it's dry, just sand off the edges, whichever you prefer doing. Make sure to go around the outer edges just to give it that extra support, but don't apply it too thickly. If you apply it too thick, it will cause the napkin to rip. So you don't want to do that. Okay. And it's going to look something like this, which I think is adorable. All right. Just a little bit more on this side. You can also tap it, which will also be suffice. And if you have any small little areas like this, you can just pinch it off. Okay. So we'll lay that aside, let that dry, and we'll do the same exact step with the top of this one as well. Okay, the next step after you have Mod Podge each section, the top and bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some Gorilla Glue. I've already measured out, because this is 14 inches across, that my center point is going to be at the 7 inches. And so I have an overlap on each end across the banner, about a ½ an inch on each side. I'm just gonna pull out the little spider webs that comes from the glue. Get that off of there. And then just lay that on the surface. Now I have decided that I wanted to add some embellishments to this. And the type of embellishments I wanna add is some pretty little daisies. These daisies I have, you're gonna be able to find them, I believe at the Dollar Tree is where I found these. So let me just pick that up and put that down along the edge here and press it. I use Gorilla Glue. I just feel like it bonds much better for my projects. You just glue whatever that you feel is gonna work for the wood and the fabric we're doing. Now, I have these cute little daisies, like I said, that came from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna clip the back of them off so they're a little more flush. And I'm gonna take the little petals that they also come with, a little greenery, and I'm gonna clip that off as well. And I want to add this down here at the bottom, just for a little extra. Okay. I just thought it complemented this project really nicely. And I'm gonna add this other little daisy with it. And I'm probably gonna just line it up here. Trying to decide if I wanna line it up going on the side or on the bottom. So you just want to find out where you want your placement for your flowers. And I kind of think I like it just with one, so that way I won't fuss too much with it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the top. Okay, so I'm going to finish up by embellishing the top of this banner. I have some greenery I found. Again, these daisies came from the Dollar Tree, so I've decided that I would like to implement those in here. And let's see what they look like. I want to probably do it in an even number. It just is more appealing to the eye, and add a little bit of greenery in here with it. So I'm just going to cluster 3 of them together at the top here, like so. Let me cut the back off of this one. And then we'll add a little bit more greenery on the other side. Probably at all 3 corners is how we'll do it. We'll see how it's gonna look. I'm just gonna lay it in there for now and then glue it once I decide where I wanna place it permanently. All right, so I like it like that. So we'll glue it down. Again, I'm using Gorilla Glue. And I'm just gonna put these little stems right up underneath here, placing it down. And then the same thing with these here, we're just gonna put in the very corner, and the leaves from the petals of the flowers will just hide that, so you don't have to worry about the stems sticking out too much. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here, just hiding it right up underneath that flower petal, and then pressing it down in place. And then just go ahead and add some of these petals I've kind of cut off, and I'm just gonna add them wherever I think it might need it underneath here, just to add a little bit of greenery. Just tuck it under where you will not see. And we're not gonna do too much. I think that is just enough personally. It's really sweet, and you'll get the gist of exactly how it's gonna end when I take a picture of the end project, okay? So now we're gonna move on to adding possibly a bow, and I'm gonna decide if I wanna put that on the top or the bottom, but I know that what I want for sure is to add my jute string, and then you will decide how long you want that to hang as far as your banner goes, okay? I don't want mine hanging too long, but I do wanna take and tie a knot. And there are several reasons I like tying the knot. I feel that it glues more easily whenever you, to the back side, when you have a knot to glue it to versus just laying it flat. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm just gonna double loop it and then make the knot. So it's gonna look something like this for each side, okay? Then we can just flip over. No one will see this, and we're just gonna attach it to the back side of the project. I use the end of my glue gun sometimes to hold it in place. You can also use your finger protectors if you have them, but that prevents me from getting burnt. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And we're just gonna add that and hold it down with the end of your glue gun. And it's gonna be right the perfect length I would like to have it, okay? I'm gonna give it a few moments, let it glue, and let it stick to the back side, and then we're gonna move on to the front and see if we're gonna add a bow to it. Okay, I've decided that after looking over the project, I do wanna add a bow. So the type of bow I'm gonna be doing is really simple. You're gonna just pinch together, have one of your, I call it legs, hanging down, and then you're just gonna pull it together where it's just a simple crisscross. But then you're gonna have another loop, okay? And then that makes 2 loops going on each side, like so. If you can see what I'm talking about, there's a loop here, a loop here, a loop here, and a loop here. So then we're just gonna cut straight across here. We'll wind up angling it in a few moments. We're gonna crimp it together, and crimping it together, you could do it 2 ways. You can take the same fabric and you can just cut a small piece to loop over in the front. And then pull it toward the back here. Don't make it too tight, but don't make it really loose either, because the loops will come out. So you just want it to overlap, and add a little bit of glue right there to the edge of the seam, and then press it together, holding it down for a few moments to bond. Once it bonds, then we can go and fluff the bow. Okay. Now, it's gonna look, let's do this where it flips around, because I did it backwards by accident. See how I did that? That was by accident. So we could easily just fix that and flip the legs around, because the seam is in the front, okay? Like so. Make it very simple, so that way you can correct the mistake, or I can correct my mistake. Go through, put your fingers in here. A wire ribbon works well with this. And then just pull it apart like so, and you have a cute little bow. See how adorable that is? So I just am going to add that right here at the bottom. I did have a daisy there, but I've decided that I'm gonna attach the daisy on the top of the bow just to add a little bit cuteness. Okay, so I'm gluing that down, and then I'm gonna add right here in the center, little daisy and the greenery. Position it however you want to. Go back through, fluff up your bows a little bit, the loops, and it turned out really adorable. So I will take a picture of this finished project, but you were able, for me, I was able to do this for less than $3, just because I picked up these from the Dollar Tree. I already had my napkins, I already had my paint sticks, but if you need to purchase those, you can consider that in, which is normally around 99 cents or a little bit over $1 for those. This lemon banner came from the Dollar Tree as well. And then of course, so did some of the floral, and the buffalo check ribbon I already had in stock because I love ribbon. So let me just show you the finished project, and I hope that you really love this DIY. It's adorable. Thank you for watching today's DIY. Hope that you enjoyed it. Please make sure to hit the follow, like, and share button here, and make sure to also come and visit me over on YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a great day.